paciente, no, sí, ya funcionó, ya funcionó. Thank you. No, pero todo muy bien, a ver con el teléfono. Lo voy a pasar a Edgar.
Sí, sí. Yo lo conecto ahí y ya se genera algo.
Did you need your mic?
No, sir, not right now.
Took care of it?
Thank you, though.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit record.
Yes. Mhm. Good afternoon. I'm Sergeant Robert Gomez, Public Information Officer with the El Paso Police Department. On July 13th, the El Paso Police Department officers were dispatched to I-10 East and Yarborough in response to reports of a pedestrian in the roadway. Upon arrival, officers encountered 30-year-old Xavier Guadalupe Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez became uncooperative and resisted officers' commands. A taser was deployed but proved ineffective. An off-duty officer and a civilian assisted in restraining Mr. Hernandez. During this encounter, Mr. Hernandez became unresponsive. Officers immediately initiated CPR and emergency medical services transported him to a local hospital, where he was later pronounced deceased. Today, the medical examiner's office released an autopsy report listing the cause of death as homicide. It is important to note, in this context, homicide is a medical term used in autopsy reports to describe the death caused by another person. It is not a legal finding and does not imply criminal conduct. Determining whether a crime occurred is the responsibility of the ongoing investigations. Therefore, we want to emphasize that this remains an open and active investigation. At this time, no findings or determinations whether a crime occurred is the responsibility of the ongoing investigations. Therefore, we want to emphasize that this remains an open and honest investigation. At this time, no findings or determinations have been made regarding potential criminal liability. Three separate investigations are currently underway. A criminal investigation by the El Paso Police Department's Crimes Against Persons Unit, an independent separate investigation by the Texas Rangers, and an administrative investigation by the El Paso Police Department and Internal Affairs Division. These parallel investigations are standard protocol in critical incidents of this nature. The El Paso Police Department acknowledges the community's concerns and the importance of transparency. We are committed to sharing information as it becomes available and appropriate, while ensuring the integrity of the investigative process. We understand that incidents like these are deeply concerning and affect many lives. In the interest of preserving the integrity of these investigations, no further information can be released at this time. We appreciate the public's patience and will continue to provide updates as the process moves forward. And with that, I'll take any of your questions.
Officer Cisneros, what is your message to the Hernandez family who's dealing with the death of their loved one?
You know, a death of a loved one is tragic no matter the circumstances. And my condolences go to the family. I wish the circumstances were different, but a death under any circumstances is tragic.
And your message to the community who's raised concerns about the way police encountered Hernandez on the interstate?
I don't have an opinion or a message based on the investigation. I know that the process that or the incident that occurred is under investigation, and once that process concludes, we'll have findings.
Given the desire for transparency, why haven't you guys released the body camera footage, and do you plan to do so?
We do, as I stated earlier, when it is appropriate and the investigation allows, we will release body cam footage of the incident. It's just not the proper point in the investigation to do so, but we will.
When will that be?
I don't have a timeline. Investigations differ in their length and their time frame, so I don't have a time frame for you, but when it is appropriate for the investigation, we will release it.
Now, there were two officers present, correct? One off-duty and one on-duty. Have they been placed on leave?
One officer, the initial responding officer, is on administrative duty. The other officer is on active duty.
Do you have the name of the officer?
We are not releasing the name of the officer at this moment. He is a 6-year veteran of the El Paso Police Department. When the investigation concludes, will make that determination of releasing that information.
He's still active in the police
He,
department.
he is on administrative duty, meaning he is an active duty officer.
And the other people who responded in that video to the incident, are any of them facing charges? Or?
We have not said anything about charges at this point. We said that there are 3 investigations being conducted. No mention of any charges was said earlier, and we have not made any conclusion or any determinations at this point, and it is way too early to talk about charges.
So no disciplinary actions have been taken against these officers.
Again, when the investigations conclude, including the administrative investigation, that will be the appropriate time for any discipline should the investigation show that. But at this time, it would be extremely premature to pass judgment without those investigations being concluded.
At the moment of the incident, was the incident taken by the officer as a mental crisis at the moment?
I can't discuss the specifics of the case. I can say, as we said earlier, that the call was, he was responding to a pedestrian on the highway.
As the autopsy states, that the death was ruled a homicide, and you explained that by homicide, it doesn't necessarily mean that there is criminal intent, but that it's involving an individual. Can you explain a little further, because I think that's what's kind of shocking in the revelation of how this is being described.
In the context of a medical examiner's autopsy report, homicide is a medical term. In order to give you that definition and an explanation, I would refer you to the medical examiner's office so they can give you the proper. I'm only merely stating that term in this context does not imply any criminal wrongdoing. Criminal wrongdoing or criminal offenses are deemed based on the investigations that are underway and not solely on an autopsy report. An autopsy report is one piece of an investigation of these natures, of all natures. It merely means that homicide is when one person causes or is involved in the death of another, simply, in this context. Does not imply any criminal wrongdoing or liability.
Has the police department read the autopsy report?
The police department, I have not read the entire autopsy report, and I can't speak for all the 1,100 members.
Is the police department aware that the individual had drugs in his system?
The police department, we are aware of what's in the autopsy report. So if those are facts in the autopsy report, then yes.
Well, the cause of death was asphyxia due to chest compression during law enforcement's duel and restraint, yet no disciplinary actions are being taken. They're not getting put on leave at all. They're still active, even knowing this information.
The officer that responded is on administrative duty.
Was the crisis intervention team called out to this?
I don't have the details of the sequence of the calls. That would be in the investigation, so I couldn't answer that right now.
Is there any review to procedures, whether for the crisis intervention team or just police response in general for these sorts of incidents?
All aspects of this call will be reviewed, including our administrative proceedings, and based on their findings, changes can be made or not.
One of the officers was seen punching the person at that time. Is that normal protocol to get his attention or get him to subdue the person, or is that normal protocol for the person?
I can't speak to the actual incidents. I know that there's video of what happened, but I can't speak to it in order to preserve the integrity of the investigation, so I really couldn't answer that right now.
The family, the Hernandez family has legal representation at this moment. Has the police department or the city of El Paso already gathered representation, legal representation to defend itself in this case?
I don't have any knowledge or indication of any legal representation being gathered for anyone at this time.
Are the officers trained during the academy to handle situations of mental crisis?
Our officers go through an extensive academy. There's also continuing education that goes on throughout your career. They are trained to handle many different types of incidents, to include mental crisis.
Anything else you would like to say?
That's all I have. No other questions? Okay. We'll be doing the interviews in Spanish for those that want interviews in Spanish. Thank you.
How often do officers
How often?
For these types of situations?
Well, I can't speak specifically to this situation, but officer training goes continuously. I mean, we have regular, yearly, continuous mandatory and not mandatory training that happens on a continuous basis. So I couldn't give you an exact schedule, other than it's initial in the academy is 8 months, a year of probation, which is considered training also, and then throughout your officer's career, including myself, we go through yearly training in a number of different subjects. They cycle through, and they are continuous, and they don't stop until the officer retires. Anything? Thank you.
Igual si te... Tomás, grábame en otro clip, por favor. Grábalo en otro clip, nada más. ¿Te quieres mover más tarde? Para que te